Good evening and welcome to Estuary TV News. I'm Hugh Riches. Joining me in the studio tonight is Dawn Maria France, editor of Yorkshire Woman's Life magazine. We'll be going through the press together a little later. First, it's over to Emma Lingard for the news headlines.
Hello, in the headlines today, homeowners in North Lincolnshire are asked to take part in a public consultation. Firefighters plan further strike action and a Grimsby woman donates to a good cause. Cleethorpes will be host to the Fake Festivals tour next month. It's the first time the resort will be hosting the event with tributes to Coldplay, Blondie and Kasabian, as well as local support acts. Other venues include Hull, Brough and Filey, which host the tour for the first time too.
At Cleethorpes we got a tribute to Coldplay, the Coldplay band. They're local, they're from the Cleethorpes area. We've also got Kasabian, they're from Hull, so they're not far away, and then we've got the fantastic Blondie tribute as well. So we've got three cracking tribute bands and also some fantastic support bands as well. The feedback we get from people is very positive. They like something that's local on their doorstep, something they can go with their family to, a safe environment, and witness some fantastic local bands as well as the professional tribute bands.
Residents of North Lincolnshire are being invited to take part in a consultation over the future growth and development of the region. The development plan, which is part of the local development framework, sets out where new homes and businesses will be located. North Lincolnshire Council is holding a 6-week consultation period at community centres in the area for people to look at the proposals. Firefighters in our region will take part in a national strike over pensions. The Fire Brigades Union in England and Wales will strike over the bank holiday weekend from Friday to the Sunday. There'll also be a call for a ban on voluntary overtime. Negotiations between the FBU and the government have been ongoing for 3 years. The finance director of a Scunthorpe-based consultancy firm has been elected as vice-chairwoman of the Hull and Humber Chamber of Commerce. Cathy Fillingham from CR Parrott Consultants was chosen at the Chamber's latest meeting held at Humberside Airport. A Grimsby hairdresser has donated hundreds of pounds to the breast cancer suite which helped her. Debbie Wydell, who owns a hairdressing salon in the town, raised £600 with the help of her customers after she was diagnosed with breast cancer in 2011. She also plans to host a charity ball in September to continue the fundraising. The money was donated to the Pink Rose Suite at Grimsby Hospital and will be used to buy essential equipment. Women in Hull are being offered breast screening as figures show that 1 in 3 fail to attend appointments. A mobile unit will visit communities across East Yorkshire as part of a 3-year rolling programme. Over the next year, the service hopes to screen up to 16,000 women in the area of East Hull, Heddon, Withensea and surrounding areas. The Blue Cross will be microchipping dogs for free this weekend in Cleethorpes. From 2016, it will be compulsory for all canines to be microchipped, meaning any dogs found straying can be reunited with their owners. The free service will take place at the resort's boating lake and is open to anyone who owns a dog.
Well, all dogs should wear some form of identification, such as a collar or tag, but those can get lost quite easily. Microchipping is a permanent form of identification. That means if your dog is lost or stolen, it can be returned to you. If it's been scanned, that number is registered to your name and address and you can be contacted to find your dog. So it gives a great peace of mind and it's very rewarding for us when we were able to reunite lost dogs with their owners.
A Scunthorpe nurse is heading for Qatar to start a new career as the first stoma specialist in an overseas cancer unit. Andrea Ben, who has been at the hospital in Scunthorpe for 23 years, has had an interest in colorectal surgery for many years and decided to take up the opportunity after attending an international conference in London. Have you ever fancied being a beach lifeguard? Well, the RNLI are holding tryouts in Skegness this Sunday as part of their recruitment season. One key requirement is that potential lifesavers are strong swimmers, and as part of the test, applicants will have to swim 400 metres in under 7 minutes. The event is happening at the Embassy's swimming pool on Grand Parade. And that's all from me. Join us again tomorrow. Goodbye.
Thank you, Emma. We'll go to the papers in a moment, but first of all, last week I interviewed Trevor Brombo, who had invented the Bromverter, which is a technique of converting imperial to metric measurements and vice versa. And many of you have twittered in, and he's written in, saying that we never showed a close-up. This is what it looks like. There's the large one and one that you could fit on key rings. Very useful instrument if you have no other way of conversion. Now, to the newspapers. Dawn Maria France, many thanks for joining us. Just a very quick introduction. You're the editor of Yorkshire Women's Life magazine. You helped found that when?
13 years ago.
And it's got Yorkshire in the title, but in fact it has an international market.
It has, but the main staple of the magazine is that it has got a Yorkshire flavour. Even though we do cover international news, we always stay loyal to Yorkshire and cover Yorkshire stories as well.
Quite right too. From this week's press, what's the first story that's caught your attention?
Well, the first story that's caught my eye is the Kept Warm, which is in the Scunthorpe Telegraph. It's vital in this day and age with the cuts with the recession that people are actually offered the opportunity to keep warm in their own homes. And every year thousands of people die because they have to decide whether to eat or heat. So I was quite impressed that this new scheme is available to vulnerable people in Scunthorpe and homeowners, because it's important to support people to keep warm in their own homes.
And who's been providing this money?
The money is actually provided by Npower. They're one of the partners that is actually sponsoring the scheme. But it is important that that takes place, because we don't want to see more people dying because they cannot keep warm.
I think they've given something like £9 million to insulating people's houses, making them more energy efficient.
That's correct. The £9 million has actually been given for that purpose, and it is vital that they actually, as a energy company, support that scheme, particularly with energy companies getting so much bad press nowadays. It's nice to read something positive about an energy scheme that's supporting local people.
Well, in the very long term, it's good for everybody, of course, but for an energy company to make a house require less energy, it seems like a very benevolent thing to do.
Absolutely, that's a no-brainer, but the important thing is that vulnerable people are keeping warm. And as I said, we don't really want to see another life lost to actually not being able to keep warm in your own house. It's an essential thing, really, to be having that fuel and to be safe and to be warm.
And to be efficient.
Of course.
The second story you've found, this is a Grimsby story, I think.
This one is in the Grimsby Telegraph, and it's skint TV shown in the town, and that does disturb me because it comes on the back of Benefit Street, and also I'm concerned about the people that are actually portrayed in this documentary. Will they be given the coverage showing a positive light, or will it just be Channel 4 chasing ratings? And I think the latter is actually what will happen. The word poverty porn has been used a lot, and I think that's exactly what's happening here. It does disturb me. And I know the local MP has got grievances.
Yes.
Yeah, he's got grievances against that and the portrayal of the town and the people. If it's a portrayal that shows a positive aspect of people on benefits, then that's fine. But if it's going to actually stir up a frenzy like Benefit Street and looking to proportion blame, then it's something that I'm not comfortable with.
There is, it's on, as you say, it's on the back of Benefit Street. It's also on the back of the first series of Skint, which was filmed in Scunthorpe, just also in our broadcast area. But you make a point that showing a negative story. Is it not the role of a documentary maker or a journalist to tell a negative story if it's true? It is true that there are people living on benefits who aren't making much effort not to.
That's correct, but the way I was taught journalism was to get the balanced argument, so to obviously show both sides of the coin. Yes, you can live on benefit, but you can also show that person's story in a positive aspect as well.
There are positive aspects, of course. And one could show if the Skint is to be filmed in Grimsby, one could show the generosity of the people of Grimsby and the success and the enterprise and the great ambition of the people of Grimsby. But you're not going to have a particularly exciting show if you're sitting in Grimsby Golf Club bar rather than on the streets of the reality of the town.
I understand that, and I accept your point of view, but they are chasing ratings, so they would actually have so many minutes to fill. And my concern is what they're going to fill that minutes with. Are they going to actually look to scapegoat people that are in poverty and it's due to no fault of their own, or are they going to really show the real stories? We've got to remember in this recession that there's people that are on benefit through no fault of their own, and they might have been working for 20 odd years, then found themselves on benefit. So how are you going to portray these people? You need to work with the people to show a positive aspect. And I'm worried that there's too many stories and documentaries that are using poor people to proportion blame. And programmes, even the very nature of the name Skint, will actually set alarm bells ringing. If it was a programme that was just about the lives of the people, how they survive and their friendship and the generosity, then that would be fine. I'd be comfortable with that. But we've all seen what's happened to Benefit Street. It has not been a good portrayal.
But do you think it's been an inaccurate portrayal of those individual people? I don't think anybody would generalise that all people are the same as those characters who appear on those television shows.
I understand that, but I know that when there's been programmes, the people themselves that took part stated that they weren't comfortable with their portrayal, and it was their lives that the production companies were dealing with. And they do need to have that balanced argument. They do need to see both sides of the coins, either the person struggling and the friendships they've made in the community, and it has to be able to portray the people and the town in a positive light.
Well, that's a story that's going to run and run, I think, especially on the banks of the Humber. The next story you found, I think, comes from the Louth Leader. This is memory boxes.
It is.
Find that page here. A mother has set up a way of commemorating her dead children. Been enormously unlucky. If you just tell us what that story was.
Well, it's a sad story about a mother who was bereaved quite recently and has lost her babies. And what they're doing is they're trying to set up a memory box so that people that are in the same position as them, that have lost children through childbirth, could have those memories. And they're working in partnership with the hospital in providing memory boxes for the hospital. I believe one of the mothers said she was grateful to the midwives and the support of the hospital, and it's her way of giving something back. And I think that's a really nice story, and I think the charity should be supported. And the charity is called For Lewis. And I think any support that could be given to that charity would be vital. And it's just such a lovely story, and it shows in the depths of such heartache, something positive has come out.
Very important work. A second story from the Louth Leader, this one a little more cheerful, although perhaps less important. The brown cow is over the moon. The headline writer's gift.
It is absolutely a gift. I love this story. I like the fact that a local pub has been given the award of the Canberra Pub of the Year 2014, and that looked at the atmosphere and the fact that they were able to provide real ale, and just the general atmosphere and the people that go to that pub, the welcome that they get. And I know the landlord.
Canberra Pub of the Year for Louth and localities.
It is, absolutely, and it's such a nice story.
Fan of real ale yourself?
I don't mind it. I'm a Yorkshire lass. That's a given, isn't it, really?
You've got to have something to keep your tonsils cold.
You do.
That brings us, thank you very much, Dawn Maria. That brings us to the end of another programme. If you've any more stories that you'd like to share with us, then please email news@estuary.tv or contact us via Twitter or Facebook, or pick up the dog and bone and call us on 01472 315561. Until tomorrow, goodbye.